My name is Clara Lee. You might know me from the graduating class of 2024. Full disclosure, I am recording this from a cafe in Tokyo at 2:39 a.m. on June 4th, the day before you're probably watching this. I didn't have a lot of time. I whipped this up, but hopefully this will give you some tips and tricks on your fine arts portfolio. I also have some film stuff and some animation stuff in here, so hopefully you will get some valuable information out of that. I am currently enrolled in Tufts University as well as their SMFA, School of Museum of Fine Arts program. And hopefully this will kind of give you an idea of what I did to get into that school that I'm going to this summer. So yeah, here's a quick introduction. I'm looking into majoring into psychology and illustration as a double major. I'm a mixed AP and IB student, and I came to SAS as a freshman. I started digital art, which is my main medium, in 2020. I also do stuff with oil painting, photography, and filmmaking, and I'm also interested in film and media studies. I might do some minor classes along with my psychology and illustration stuff. If you ever want to contact me, I also have a portfolio website, capiclara.com, as well as my social media and my WeChat, which will be on the last slide. So all portfolios are submitted, not all, actually. Most college portfolios are submitted through SlideRoom, which is a host website. This is the most common portfolio host website that American colleges use, and it was also the bane of my existence. You'll be fine, I promise. The reason why I don't like this website is because there are different domains, you can't repeat your submissions. So every time you submit your portfolio to a new college, you have to input everything again, as well as their titles, their descriptions, and everything like that, which is just annoying, but it's doable. So you'll be fine. Each university will have their own individual website linked on the Common App, or you can just search your college name and SlideRoom into your browser. All entries require a title, a description, and sometimes boxes for medium and size. A big tip, prepare information in advance, especially your dimensions, because you do not want to be the guy 1 hour before submission who doesn't know how big your painting is. Include sizes even if they don't ask for them, especially if you have a large work, because that will make things more impressive. Also, I probably shouldn't have written that word in there, but don't half-ass these. A lot of art schools value concept and idea even more than technical ability, so well thought out and nuanced artist statements can make your portfolio. If you have really great work but sometimes don't have a full idea behind it, or if it's just a study or a test or like anything like that, it'll be less strong than if you do include something, even if you just like make it up. It's kind of like IB art, don't worry about it. Another tip is to take good clear photos, avoid warm or low lighting that will change the appearance of your piece. Use a fancier camera if you can. You can include multiple angles if you're showing off a sculpture, and keep focus on the piece itself, so avoid background. Try to shoot things on like a white background or a black background. Yeah. Also, materials are capped at a certain level of megabytes. So make sure that you compress your files, because if you don't have your compressed files, they will make you compress them. They won't allow you to submit like large files. Sometimes there's different levels for like JPEG, PNG, and like video, but they will specify that. So here's some examples. This is for Carnegie Mellon University, which I got into Tufts ED2, so I never got this result. But here are just like a couple of examples of what they might want to ask for. So usually the amount is about 15 pieces, but CMU allows 12 to 20. You can see it says any medium, 2D, 3D, mixed media, videos, games, animation, sound, art, etc., any style, no fan art or commission-based work. This is mostly like an honor system thing. And also they want to see your personal work, not stuff that you've been paid to do or stuff that is derived from other media. They also say we don't need to see technical pieces created for practice or skill development. This is different for every college, especially RISD. I did not end up applying for RISD, but they have a very specific portfolio submission requirement, which puts more focus on the process. So this presentation is not meant to be for RISD. There's definitely a bunch of videos about RISD portfolio that, and all as well as CalArts, because they have very specific needs for their portfolio that isn't what's typical of a liberal arts college, which is what I apply to. Signature art schools are probably different from what I did. You can also note their AI policy below there. And then also you can see here on the right side, the title, size, media, additional details. That's just kind of how the layout is. The different boxes also makes this more complicated because you have to copy and paste each individual box rather than just copy and pasting the whole thing, which is just annoying. Please fix this. SlideRoom representatives, if you're listening, please fix this. Anyway, things to note. I'm an overachiever. You probably don't need to write as much as I did. Most will ask for 15 pieces, but some can go to 20. If you're applying as an art major, I highly recommend meeting their top requirement, but don't force it if you have unfinished pieces. So if something is clearly unfinished, don't try to like put a footnote like, oh, this one's unfinished, because that'll just make it seem like you didn't try hard enough. But if you can like make it so it just looks finished and then also have a very strong concept behind it and don't mention that it's not finished, you might be able to include it. Curation, pick pieces that exemplify your body of work or the way that you work the best, and prioritize conveying concept. I take IBR, helps a lot with writing and explaining ideas along with highlighting your technical qualities through words. These examiners are experts, obviously, but it's also still nice to be able to highlight the stuff that you like about your own work and the ideas and like origins that your ideas come from. Importance of order. Start strong and end strong. So this is kind of just like an obvious thing. This also applies to like your activities list and stuff like that. Pepper in the less conceptually strong pieces in the middle so that you kind of like, that's a psychology thing. If you have many mediums, you can scramble the pieces to avoid repetition and increase your sense of variety. So once I show my portfolio, you can kind of see that I sprinkled around my videos along with like my traditional paintings and my digital paintings. This is just to like help break things up and not bore your admissioner. And reminder that I'm not an expert and take all my advice with a grain of salt. I'm kind of delirious right now. Oh shoot, is this out of order? Hello? Okay, I'm gonna start with number 1. So this is my sculpture. I did ask for my friend Vera's advice on my entire portfolio. She is already at Tufts. She recommended this one go first because it's conceptually strong. So you can see, as well as technically strong, so you can see my title, my medium, my size, and my description here. I did mention for all my IB artworks that it was part of my IB exhibition because they kind of fall under the same theme. So here in this description, I'll just go through it really quickly. I go through my idea and then the process, and then finally some like technical details like, the contrast is something I wanted to emphasize, and then as well as my inspiration, because they want to see where your ideas come from. Sorry if you hear cars in the background. Number 2, this is out of order, I'm so sorry. I did a digital piece that I really like. Again, I wrote digital painting, size, part of final IBR exhibition, and then more description of how it looks, etc. And then 3, this is a comic I made for School of Visual Arts during a summer program. I originally had all of my pages in like a grid, but since there is a limit on file size, I could not include it without like messing up the resolution of the images. So instead I put all my JPEGs into CapCut and put a flipping animation so that it looks like a book. This makes it way easier for your admissioner to see all of your pages without like having to zoom in and stuff like that. This is just a good way to do this. I put my medium, dimensions, etc. And then since this was a summer camp piece, I did specify like where I made it, how I made it, and also everything's original. Next up, this is kind of a filler piece. This is something I made like a couple of years ago. This is like something to go with my background because it references, you don't have to do this, but it does reference my personal statement, which is about my experience with like playing violin. So yeah, this kind of like ties in both into my entire Common App, which is pretty nice.
At
So
5:37
I
every
do
morning
short
from
films. Oh
Monday
my
to
gosh,
Saturday.
I should turn off the volume on this. This is a short film that I directed, and I included the competition I made it for, as well as like my inspirations. If you're submitting films along with your art, make sure to put your role, because that is very important. You don't want to take credit for stuff that you didn't do. And then I put my awards because it sounds very impressive, and I couldn't fit all of it into my award section, so just like sneak that in there if you got if you got any. This is another digital piece. I didn't do this zoom in on my actual application. It's just so you can see it better. But this is also part of my IBR exhibition. 7. This is a series of digital portraits that I did in the course of, I believe, a week. I kind of like described like my process here, and then some more inspirations. And then because these are all studies, I made sure to reference every single photographer and like what these photos came from, because you can't just like, I would strongly suggest not including pieces that you just reference from like Pinterest or like a random photo you found online. If you are painting from reference, do it from like your own work, photography or whatever. But this was like a series, so I did include all of my sources. This is more just like a display of technical ability. This is another short film that I did.
I was like,
this one I did
that's
all
my
the roles, like the production roles on, so that's kind of important to show that you have like versatility. I kind of like had more fun with the film descriptions because like you get to play around with like humor and stuff like that. You don't have to write as much as I did. Again, I included the roles. This is a point and click game. I did specify that the original was a PowerPoint presentation, and now I've submitted it as a GIF. There's not much to say about this one. My iPad is about to die. This one was actually pretty special. I made, this is for computer science principles, AP computer science principles. I made me and my friend made a game. I did the illustrations, which is kind of the point I'm making here. But something to note is that I included my games, and then I also included me scrolling through the code at the end. So this kind of shows more versatility. I also specified what exactly I did, because I didn't want to take credit for my friend's work. Yeah. And then this is another filler piece. I actually did this in freshman year. I lied. I said it was a more recent year. But it holds up. It's fine. I also made up this like sort of concept of like relating this to my Chinese ancestry. You can kind of appeal to your profile sort of, and it also still just makes sense. It's not like I completely made up like something that's completely unrelated. It does make sense, and it does like hold weight. So even if you have a piece that you didn't think a lot about before you made it, it's still really good to have like an explanation or tie it to something that's important to you. Yeah. Next up is, these are actually unfinished when I submitted these. This is an old photo. You probably can remember if you went to the IB art show what the final piece looked like. But it was important for me to include this because both it's a self-portrait and also it was very important to my IBR exhibition. And then also edit your photos so that they look cohesive. Like these were all different photos and I just collaged them so they would have the same dimensions and they didn't look warped at all. This one this one is commission work. For the Beijing Music Festival, I made some posters for them. Thank you, nepotism. I did specify each one, like which one was which, and then like what they were for. This is more of like I guess, I mean, if you can flex. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, just include like your inspirations and stuff like that and your commissioning info, because they do think that like they do say sometimes not to include commission work. However, it is important to show that you have like you can take direction well, and then that can also help you if you're going into a illustration career. Almost done. This is a painting. This is also partly unfinished, because if you saw my IBR exhibition, this has a separate digital projection component, but I did not mention that, and I just included my original description. And I, again, included my inspirations and stuff like that. And then finally, this is a stop motion animation I did. It's not gonna play, but I put this, oh my god, I put this at the end because I think it's the most visually impressive out of all of my works, and I kind of want to end with a bang. You can kind of see it. And it's also really linked to my identity. And then it's also very technically laborious. So I included my personal tie with it, as well as my process. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can email me at the email that I included in the beginning, or you can contact me on WeChat or my social media. I don't know what else to add here. Thanks. I'm going to go to bed now. I'm going to shower. I'm going to go to bed. I have to wake up at